Hey everybody, this is Mike with Free Roaming Photography, and in this video we're going to discuss why you might actually want to try to embrace blue sky days versus despise them. But just real quick, I wanted to remind you that if you are interested in a private photography workshop in Grand Teton or Yellowstone National Parks, be sure to check out the link in the description for more info on that. And so let's get rolling. So everybody knows that blue sky days are the bane of all nature photographers. The lighting is harsh, it's a bland background, it doesn't do much in the sky, it doesn't produce a lot of color aside from what's already on the ground, and it's just not really the most interesting time of day to be shooting. So why should you embrace them, and really how for that matter? Now, the first reason you might want to try and embrace them is because the challenges always help you improve. Anytime you're putting yourself in a different situation, you're putting yourself outside of your comfort zone, or you're challenging yourself creatively, that can produce some really good results. And you might not get, award-winning shots on a blue sky day in the middle of the day, but you could still get some really nice shots. And if you look carefully at a lot of media that goes around, a lot of shots that go viral or things that are used in ads, a lot of those shots are also blue sky days because that's essentially what people relate to. That's when most people are out and doing things, and that's when they can create a sense of connection by seeing that image and remembering it or visualizing themselves there. You get some stunning shots getting like cloudy days and getting sunrise and sunset and things like that, but that's not when most people are out, and so that's not when they imagine themselves being out in an area or in the outdoors or something like that. So blue sky days help to create that connection with the general public that could be used in different ways to connect with them. And of course, no time in nature is ever wasted. So worst case scenario, you just go have a good day out. Maybe you just get some nice shots, maybe you get some okay shots, but at least you were outside doing something and not just sitting in when the sun is shining and it's a really nice day out. So then likewise, if you're on vacation or something like that, or you're just not going to take photos, that doesn't seem very likely. And if you want to do photography, you got to accept the challenges as they come. And blue sky days are certainly a challenge. And there are ways of getting good shots within that challenge. So moving on from that, here's how you do that. So the number one tip is to pull back and go wide. That harsh lighting that you get from the middle of the day that's shining down and that's producing this really harsh contrast between shadows and lights, that is way too busy. If you're in a forest or, trying to get detail on a close-up of an animal or a bird or something like that, it's way too harsh to really try to pick out details. So when you have a bright sunny sky day, pull back and go wide, and this sort of blends in the shadows more, makes them less competitive, it makes them less erratic, and so that you can get more of a bigger picture, which is essentially what you want to be shooting for. And to do this, you can stick to focal lengths that are 30 to 40 millimeters or less. So that way you're kind of pulled back and you're getting more of a bigger picture in that respect. The results you get from that are much more appealing, and they don't need deciphering from highly over detailed images. So then let's say you're in an open western landscape where you got the big vistas and things like that. You want to find those defining features of the landscapes as a whole. So let's say you're in Grand Teton National Park where you've got the Teton Mountains just defining the landscape. You want to pull back and get the enormity of the landscape, especially if you're hiking in there. You can pull back, try to get more of the peaks, and try to find some really defining features of the mountains as you're pulling back to define a certain feature of the mountains. If you're in a more forested area, you could pull back and get the enormity of the forest, and in doing that, the shadows will just kind of blend into the forest itself, into the landscape, and that's a nice way to show off just the immensity of the forest and the trees and a lot of the things going on around and within that forest. Similarly, you could also try to find a meadow or a pond or a lake or a creek or something like that that breaks up the forest. Then you have some natural leading lines to work with, and you could try to make a nice composition out of that by finding that leading line and using that to capture a photo of that scene within a forest. Another tip is to start either earlier or later in the day, and that allows you to start at sunrise and go later in the day, so you get a nice diversity in your lighting, or vice versa. You could start earlier and under that blue sky day and then also go until sunset, so you get some nice contrast that way. And this can yield some really nice results if you happen to be passing back the same way, and you'll be able to see that under those initial harsh conditions that you started out with maybe, and ending as you're going back in during much nicer light. like golden hour or somewhere around that time. On a related note, clear skies are also really great for night photography. So whether you're in a big city or under a dark night sky, clear skies are ideal for night photography. And of course, I've also got a video that talks about how to get ideal night photos, so definitely check that out if you're new to that. And so really, of course, photographers get excited about overcast days, about sunrise, sunset, things like that, but it should be more about the joy itself. Just enjoy being out there, enjoy taking photos, and enjoy the challenges that present to you, whether it's, harsh midday light or blue hour photography or anything like that, because there's always something to shoot and there's always something worth capturing, no matter what time of day, no matter what time of lighting. So embrace the challenge and get out there and just have fun. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or you want more information about the private photography workshops, check the link down in the description. And thanks for watching and happy trails.